start this second wave. And the first person to present her idea is Sanjot. Sanjot Pete is a doctorate and a professional in her own right, working with traumas. And over to you, Sanjot.
Hello, everyone. I want to start this with a story. I was doing this coaching session for a senior level executive in a company, and when he walked into my room, I saw him very confident, very friendly, very warm. And as I welcomed him and I spoke to him, I also found him very articulate, very confident. As the session progressed, I began to realize that there was something which is amiss. Uh, I realized that this person is sitting on the edge of the chair. His jaws are very tight. As he is speaking to me, his hands are also, forming a fist. He was very abrupt. His gestures and his words were not matching. And I pointed out this to him. And as I pointed out this to him, uh, we began to explore. And what I discovered was that this person had lost his father about 4 years ago. And I'm getting a message that I'm muted. Is this?
Oh, you're audible. You're audible. Please go ahead.
No, you're not. Go ahead.
As I explored that, I began to. We discovered that lot of grief and anger was present in him. And as I began to exchange and as I began to work with him, we began to discover a lot of stuck energy in his body. And over a period of time, we released that energy and he was able to reclaim his own story rather than playing out the story that was happening because of this. The question that I had at that time and which I'm continuing to explore even here is that what does embodiment really mean to us? Is it really only the neocortex, the rational brain that we are so proud of, we are so dependent upon? It is actually what makes us different from other animals and other living beings. And it is responsible for so much progress, the kind of language we use, the communication, the technology, and so on. So then, are we missing out on something? And what my discovery was that there is a part of us which is not your neocortex, but has a lot of wisdom. And that part happens to be our body. And over a period of time, through work on my own, by working with others, I came up with a frame, and that is the frame that I want to share with you. So I see life as a river, and we are in the river, we are experiencing life. Sometimes we are being thrown around by this life, and every single experience of ours generates a sensation, and it is dealt with whether we are conscious of it or we are not conscious of it. Especially the unpleasant situations give rise to unpleasant sensations, and we are impacted by it. And the body takes an action of either fight or flight. Sometimes it's not able to do that. So then it gets into fawn or freeze. And once the danger is over, the fawn or freeze is released, the stuck energy is released, and we move on. But in human beings, it is difficult because we have a neocortex. The neocortex allows us to cope. The neocortex allows us to move on despite the freeze energy. But then this freeze energy keeps acting for any trigger, or it gets converted into an illness and impacts our immune system and shapes our body in a particular way. I learned a lot of this in the somatic experiencing training. Somatic experiencing is a modality which is developed by Peter Levin, and it is a modality of trauma healing as well as body awareness. And I learned that all these energies that are stuck in our body are not about the event, it is about what is stuck in our body. And if we can connect to our body, if we can work with our body, then we are in a better position to reshape our own stories. Of course, I didn't stop at that. I worked with this gentleman whom I spoke to you about. I helped him release his energy and saw his story being did, and I also did it for myself. But for myself, I took a little more aid. So I also read a lot of Yoga Sutra and Upanishads and the Indic scriptures. And I realized that there is a psychosomatic understanding in these scriptures which can be used along with Peter Levin's work to help us unravel our own story and change it. So what is this psychosomatic aspect? The psychosomatic aspect is the Panchakosha, which says that our body is in 5 layers and our stories, the story of all events, is stored in these 5 layers. So the first layer is the Annamaya Kosha, which is the physical layer, yeah, which understands the language of sensations. Every part of our body has sensations if we observe, and it is the most gross form of our body. When we pay attention to it, it takes us deeper. It takes us to the Pranamaya Kosha, which is the breath. And breath is not only what we inhale from our nose and which goes into the chest, but it is also something that flows throughout the body and is responsible for assimilation, digestion, and excretion. And if we get in touch with our breath, we will be able to see where our frozen energy is in our entire body. And working with it takes us deeper. So at the third level is the Manomaya Kosha, which is thoughts and feelings. And from Peter Levin's work and also my own understanding, I also add memories to this. All our memories are actually stored in form of our emotions and thoughts, and in a combination of that. And when we go deeper, we reach another layer, which is the Vijnanmaya Kosha, which is intuition and wisdom, but it also holds our patterns. It also holds our habits. And therefore, as in that case of my Kochi, his habit was to be abrupt. That is held in the Vijnanmaya Kosha. And at the last is the Anandamaya Kosha, the way I understand it from my experience, as it holds the whole structure. This is the place where the body feels safest. And therefore, I experimented it for myself. Yeah, is that I was suffering. I went through a very, very tough period in my life, and I was suffering from chronic cold and cough for a long time. It affected me. It affected the way I worked. It affected the things I could do or could not do. And all I had was to have strong medicines or steroids and live with that. When I came across this work, I began to work with my sensations every time at different stages. I began to realize that the cough and cold is also at different stages. And I began to experiment with my sensations. As I experimented with my sensations, I began to see the breath. It went deeper, and I began to experience the emotions. And I went deeper, and I began to see the patterns. And I began to feel safe in certain places, and I was able to release this energy. So how do I release this energy? So when I work with people who come in with some incidences, some beliefs, some phobias, or something they want to do, I take them through the 5 layers. And what I base it on is my sensations, is on sensations, on images. Images are anything from all our senses. It could be that they suddenly smell something, or they remember a taste, or they remember a picture, and their emotions and the meaning making that they are doing. I take this whole thing. When we are able to observe and pay attention to this whole structure, our body moves. Maybe your fingers will move, maybe your fist will become tight, maybe your jaws will tighten, maybe there will be a churn in the stomach, or something will happen. And if you pay attention to it and move with the body will release this. The more it releases, the more aware you become of the stories that you have created, and you will be able to release it and tap into this energy. I also realized that because there's been so much emphasis on the rational brain, that it is not so easy to just start connecting to the body. So I began to use stories, especially Indian mythology stories, as well as fairy tales, but majorly Indian mythology stories. And I found layers in those stories also, which in interest of time, I'm not going to talk about it, but there were these layers that I was able to identify even within stories, and they gave a very good handle for people to connect to their bodies as they were listening to these stories. The more I did this, the more I realized that there is a whole lot of scope for our happiness, for our well-being, for our healing, and for our growth if we pay more and more attention to our body, because it has wisdom that we have to look at, or we can tap into and use it for ourselves. Of course, a whole lot of this work is around trauma healing, is majorly around people who face a lot of negative uh, issues in their lives, but I have also seen its use in coaching, in development, in people wanting to do better with their stories. So before I end this in this idea which I just presented, I would like to take you through a somatic exercise, which if you would like to follow, I invite you to follow this exercise. So I invite you to place your feet on the ground, and if you are sitting in a place where you can't possibly put your feet on the ground, would you like to notice where you are sitting and how is your sitting bone feeling? What is the feeling there? What is the sensation there where you are in connect with your chair or with whatever you are sitting on? As you notice this, we will do a small body scan. So notice, what are the sensations in your feet? Are your feet moving? Are you feeling like placing your feet over each other? What is happening to you? And as you notice, you can then start moving towards the ankle, then the calf. As you move forward, come to your knees and your thighs. By now, you might be feeling something in your chest or in your abdomen. And it is okay if you're feeling nothing, that's all right. Of here, the sensations when I talk about, I'm talking about hot, cold, vibration, pain, anything that occurs to you. How about your hands? If you're noticing me, my hands are moving quite a lot. Are your hands moving? And would you like to move them in slow motion? As you experience this and you come to your face, there will be something happening to you on your face. It could even be a sweat. It could be something that might be happening. Notice that. If you feel like moving, you might want to move in slow motion. And as you do that, experience sitting here with your whole body. What is the feeling of presence like? Now we move to your breath. How is your breath? Is it slow? Is it fast? Whatever it is, we stay with it. Do you have any emotions right now? And the range is huge. You could have multiple emotions at this point in time. And as you are going deeper, of course, I'm actually speeding this up, but as you're going deeper, you might notice some good feelings in your body. Some places where you're feeling comfortable and safe. Just notice that. take your hands and make a circle around you. Just get your hands to move and make a small circle around you. This is your boundary. How does it feel to be inside this boundary? And as we move forward, would you like to try one more thing? Would you like to try to place your hand on your forehead and another hand behind your neck? And see how do you feel? Just take a deep breath and see how do you feel. I use this often when I'm thinking too much. See how do you feel. And would you like to take your hands again? Place one hand under the armpit of the other and the second one over the hand. And just give yourself a tight hug. And how does that feel? Thank you.